Took a lot longer than I thought it would, but finally, here we are at the precipice of one of my all-time greatest gaming achievements for solo gameplay. Hey everyone, this is Bill once again with the Nintendo Super Power Club Challenge channel, and today I am very proud to say we are looking at Mortal Kombat 2, the Super NES version, and this is card number 163 in the collection. I'll save the discussion of my history with this game for later within the video, but for right now, as far as the single player aspect of this game goes, I don't think anyone is going to disagree with me that this is one of the hardest single player fighting games ever made. I don't care whether it's the arcade version or any of the home console or portable versions. It is ridiculously tough, and even if you know the strategies to successfully beat the AI, you're still going to have a hard time if your timing is not immaculate and perfect. Don't believe me? Go ahead and flip this over and let's see what I'm talking about. Okay, you're going to have to bear with me for just a moment while I go through the description because my knowledge and history with this game is going to make it go just a little bit longer than a minute. Anyway, challenge states, can you beat the game for pro on very hard using no special moves? So as I said earlier, anyone who has even sniffed the very hard difficulty of this game, it's enough to make you go running for the hills and throwing stuff against the wall. So it begs the question, how do you beat arguably the cheapest AI ever conceived for a fighting game? Really, it's going to come down to two things: having solid fundamentals and knowing how to cheese the AI where possible. It can be done. It is extremely difficult, but it can be done if you have immaculate timing and an immaculate understanding of those concepts. We're going to break it down and show you exactly how to get past every single character because there are some minute differences with various characters who have good anti-air defenses. Those of you in the fighting game community will know exactly what I'm talking about. If you don't, sit back, relax, prepared to get a good understanding of some general fighting game concepts and how to get past one of the cheapest AIs of all time in a fighting game. MK2 on the Super NES. Here we go. Alright, as we get going here, just a quick disclosure, you can see we're picking very hard. I will say toward the end of this gauntlet, there are a couple occasions where I do accidentally throw a special attack, but it doesn't make contact, therefore I don't consider the challenge invalid. As far as which characters to select, it's really up to you. I choose to go with either Shang Tsung or Baraka. Reason why is because you need to pick characters with great jump kick attacks and great range on those kicks. Those two characters are generally accepted as the two best jump kicking characters. I'm going with Baraka because not only is his jump kick good, but he also has good sweep range and a faster sweep than most of these characters. That's my opinion, that's what I'm going to go with. As far as the actual strategy goes, first fight does not matter. It does not matter which character you go up against, they all fight the same. They are ridiculously dumb and stupid. You can showboat, you can cheese, you can do whatever you want. You can take chances, you can play risky. It does not matter. So, have fun with this first fight. You can see we're clearly doing that. There's really no reason why you shouldn't get a double flawless here. Just have fun. Now, as far as the actual strategy goes, things you have to prepare for and get ready for. Second fight, you're going to see it's a lot of jump kicks. Yeah, take one shot right in the nuts. And that's it. Like I said, easy double flawless. Does not matter. As far as the actual strategy itself goes, you're going to see jump kicking is the main priority here. Alright, we got Reptile here now. Reptile falls into the ninja class, who is grouped in with both Sub-Zero and Scorpion, and as such, all three of them have very good anti-air defenses that are based on what you just saw, the roundhouse kick. Speaking of anti-air defenses, you're going to hear me talk about that a lot throughout this video here, and I'm going to go ahead and put up some of Baraka's best anti-air defenses in the corner here, so there you go. Go ahead and take a quick look at those. So whenever you are able to cheese the AI and get them to jump into you, those are your best options. Yes, there are other ones you could use, but those are the ones that do the most damage output. So take that into consideration anytime you manage to cheese the AI and get them to jump back into you here. Now let's talk about what to look out for when you suspect the computer is going to jump back into an anti-air or AA attack. It's very subtle, but you're going to notice it right there. Anytime he's going to jump, it's a very subtle pause and then the jump in is going to occur. As soon as you notice that, use any of your AA attacks that we mentioned down in the bottom left in the previous round, and you should be able to get the counter most times, if not all the time. It really comes down to timing, and you have to be on your game and focused on what's happening every single time. Unfortunately, we didn't get the win there, but that's okay. It is what it is, as I always like to say. It's not going to be a perfect run. There will be a couple losses here and there, but it's okay because you do have 4 continues to utilize throughout the fight. Now right there you notice Reptile went invisible. That can be very problematic against a real-life opponent, but against the computer it really doesn't matter. They still play the way that they play. They don't know how to utilize the darkness. Just keep doing what you do. As far as jump kicking goes, make sure that you jump the moment you get into the air. We'll talk more about that in future rounds. By the way, take another nut shot. Alright, so that's 2 down, and we got 1 of the 3 ninjas out of the way as well. So we move on to the next character here. This is going to be Jax. Jax has a very annoying, ugly anti-air high kick that most people are very familiar with at a high level. But as far as this one goes, ooh, and that backbreaker is annoying as well. He can catch you if you're not paying attention. He'll usually catch you anyway. So you're going to use a lot of jump-in attacks, and as I said, I would not encourage that against a human opponent, but against the computer, they don't know how to time it very well. So keep doing what you do those jump kicks, and make sure to utilize that sweep as well to set up for the potential of him jumping in for an anti-air counter here. And you'll see a lot of that in this fight and in future fights going forward here. Alright, we take the L there, not a big deal. You're going to see we get a nice little counter comeback here, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about right about now. Okay, something else I want to point out. At the very start of every round, feel free to jump in just like this, because most times, not always, but most times, the computer is going to start out with a special projectile toss, like in this case, the wave. A lot of times you'll see Katana will throw a fan, Liu Kang will throw a fireball. You get the idea, right? Don't be afraid to jump in at the very start of the round here. Once again, against the human, I don't encourage it. With the computer, take advantage of it. And you'll probably see quite a few examples of this happening in future rounds and future characters here. So we move into the 3rd round against Jax. It's going to be more of the same. Feel free to jump in immediately. Probably a wave. Ooh. Now, again, Jax does have the annoying backbreaker, so that is a risk that you take, but more often than not, it's going to pay off here. Here he is using a straight-up jump kick, and Jax is definitely one of the more annoying characters if you do not play your cards carefully and your timing is not immaculate here. I would probably recommend doing a sweep if he misses on the straight-up jump kick here. Fortunately, it didn't matter too much here, and we got the victory. So, boom, there goes 1 head, with several more to come, I assure you. Alright, so we got a little bit of a break here between now and the next fight. As far as my background in this game goes, just to throw some things out there, I've been playing this game casually, competitively, ever since the game came out, but definitely when it hit the online scene in the late 2000s is when I really took off with this game. Moving on to Raiden here. Raiden can definitely be annoying. You can do the straight-in jump kick like most characters, or you can elect to wait for a naked uppercut opportunity here because he likes to teleport right at the very start of the match. If not, you don't want to do that. You do need to be aware of the Superman attack. It's very annoying. Oh, sometimes I'll do that too. That's kind of ugly. So feel free to do a lot of your jump kicks here. Raiden doesn't really have a great anti-air defense. He has the standing regular high kick, but beyond that, uppercut against the jump kick here isn't that great. The roundhouse isn't that great of an option. Yeah, he can teleport, but it's not going to cause any damage here. So feel free to do a lot of your jump kicks. He's going to risk with the Superman here. Try not to get stuck in a corner. Pretty much any character that traps you in a corner is going to either throw you or do the annoying straight-up jump kicks in the air. So avoid that at all costs. Don't forget to continue to set up your opponents for the anti-air jump-in opportunities here. So you notice the standing high kick. The standing high kick doesn't do as much damage as the roundhouse or the uppercut does, but it's the safest option and it comes out the fastest. The uppercut, if you know what you're doing, can do a quarter of his health, kid you not, almost 25%, but you have to have the timing and the distance down to the pixel or it's very difficult to land it consistently. So most high-level players are going to go with the standing high kick for the safe counter here. Just like that. And I believe you're going to have one more example of that. Sweep sets it up, boom, right into another standing high kick, and there is another victory, a flawless victory at that, against Raiden on Very Hard. Not an easy task to accomplish, especially with his Superman spam, but we did pull it off. And now we move on to one of the more difficult fights on Very Hard, that is Katana. Katana, ooh, look at Liu Kang right beyond that. This is one fight that you definitely cannot jump into because of her annoying fan lift. Against a human opponent who knows what they're doing, you're going to lose 50% of your life bar, no joke. Against a computer opponent, you're just going to get hit with the square wave attack after the fan lift. So whatever, it sucks, but it's still damage you have to deal with. Alright, so how do you deal with it? Besides the first jump in that is safe, beyond that, you're going to have to resort to sweeps, which is the bulk of my damage here. So you're going to have to go with sweeps, and then jump back and hope that she jumps into one of your anti-air opportunities here. So sometimes it will work, and I gotta say, I get really lucky sweeping underneath a lot of these fans. Sometimes it was planned, I knew what was happening, but oftentimes it was luck as well. So, as I said, a lot of the damage you're going to see against Katana is a result of sweeps and setting up for the anti-air opportunities. Aside from the one jump in you're going to see right here, Most other times, it is not safe at all to jump in against Katana. So there we go. Oh, we had the opportunity, but it missed. By the way, if you get stuck in a corner against Katana, don't even bother. Just let her throw you out of there so you can continue to work on your other jumping opportunities. So there's the sweep. She jumped a little too fast for me. Yeah, and her throw is very fast with that suplex. So there's the sweep, jump back. Okay, now this was actually a very intuitive counter right there. I saw she was out of range, and instead of doing the high kick, I did a low kick because it had better range. That really comes down to years of experience, knowing what options to use when and where. So that's another one in the books. Okay, there is a blade swipe, but it was after the fight was over. Whatever, it doesn't really matter at that point. You can do whatever you want. Shred, slice, double kick. As long as the match is over, I could care less. Okay, moving into Liu Kang, this is easily the toughest fight you're going to encounter on the way to the end, and you're going to see why right there. The jumping anti-air fireball of Liu Kang is even more annoying and difficult to deal with than the fan lift and even the Sai of Mileena. Why? Well, you just saw it. It comes out so fast. So how do you deal with it? It's going to come down to sweeps, much like with Katana, but not even that. As you might see, he likes to throw out the flying kicks like that too, right? So you can't just simply walk back and wait for Liu Kang to get into sweep range because of the fear and threat of the flying kick. This is going to result in you using the block a lot until Liu Kang gets into sweep range, and then you can safely use it. If he is outside of sweep range, keep that block out until the flying kick comes, and then counter with the option of your choice. Be very careful if you're using a standing high kick to counter Liu Kang's flying kick. As I'm sure you probably know, Baraka has a double kick special where if you mash it consecutively, it will come out as two knees, a knee and then an axe kick to the face. You need to be very careful. In fact, I would probably recommend using a roundhouse or perhaps even an uppercut if you're quick enough on the trigger, or some other means of safely countering that flying kick. It can be too much of a risk. By the way, if a special does land, it's not the end of the world. You don't have to reset the game. You just have to let the computer take the win. So, as I said, later in this game, you will see a couple of times where I do accidentally land a special move. When it happens, you just let the computer beat you that one round, and then reset, do it again all over again. So yeah, Liu Kang is going to make you work for this. He is easily the toughest computer opponent you're going to face, and luckily we're getting a nice couple jump kick counters. There's one, there's two, there's three. We got very lucky there. I don't know if we would have pulled that off if it weren't for the two stupid flying kicks that he did, but we did get the victory. I'm very thankful that we are past Liu Kang now. The odds of beating this challenge have significantly gone up as we continue forward here. Alright, now we have Sub-Zero to deal with. So as I said, Sub-Zero, Reptile, Scorpion, they all fall in the ninja category, and as such, they have very deadly counters with the anti-air roundhouse. Fortunately, Baraka's length of his jump kick will often surpass the roundhouse, so it's not a big deal. You can feel free to take chances every now and then, because it will tend to get past. Even against a human opponent, I will tend to jump in against the ninjas with Baraka, because I know this in the back of my head. And there we go, that wasn't too difficult here. So abusing the long reach of Baraka's jump allowed us to pick up that victory here. Also, Sub-Zero's projectiles aren't that critical to worry about here. Oh yeah, smoke. Don't trigger the smoke battle. Please don't make life more difficult for yourself. By the way, one more thing I haven't mentioned that I should have talked about with Reptile. You noticed it right there with the slide. Both of those characters have the slide in their arsenal, so I would be very careful looking to set up the anti-air opportunities beginning with a sweep, because oftentimes when they get into sweep range, if you're just walking backwards, they will immediately go into their slide special animation, so it's usually safer to just do the jump kicks as opposed to setting up for the anti-airs. So just keep that in mind. Only other thing of caution you need to worry about with both Reptile and Sub-Zero. But he's out of the way, not too difficult of a fight. Now we move into Mileena. Now, anyone who has ever played Mortal Kombat 2 online will tell you that Mileena is the cheapest character in all of existence, probably in all of Mortal Kombat to be combined. But we're going to make her look like a complete chump here, and it all has to do with jump kicking. By the way, something I would never recommend doing against Mileena online. But here against the computer, doesn't matter. The AI is pretty dumb and abusable here. So just jump in. The only catch is you need to make sure that your jump kick comes out immediately. So jump and kick almost immediately at the same time, I would say. If you wait until you're at the apex of your jump, the anti-air Sai will get you almost every time. So jump and kick at the same time, and you will get a flawless. And sometimes you can get a double flawless there. That's probably one of the only times you will see Baraka abuse Mileena. So enjoy it now. You're certainly not going to see it at a high level in an online fight. Thankfully, we were able to make that one easy and make Mileena look like a joke. Okay, now we move into Johnny Cage, and Johnny Cage you have to be very cautious with. He has a number of nasty anti-air surprises for those jump-in attacks, so it might be useful, instead of jumping in at the start, to just simply duck and wait for a shadow kick missed opportunity here. You'll see me do that quite a couple times here. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and more often than not, I am able to get past Johnny Cage's anti-air green ball, but still, I recommend taking an approach to using a lot of sweeps, so wait for him to come in. You may even want to approach this to an extent that you would, say, Liu Kang, although I wouldn't do standing blocks because you won't be able to counter those like you would with a flying kick. So it's a risk you take. Sometimes he will counter you anyway. Sometimes it's not going to work at all. Oh, and there's a case where we got the double kick out, and this is the time where I told you, if you do have it happen, just take the loss, intentionally lose, and then start the round over again. So I was mashing the high kick button, that's why the double kick came out. So we take the loss on that round. Give it another shot. We have to remember to be a little bit more patient and just not mash the high kick button. There, we did get a nice uppercut. You don't see me land too many uppercut counters here, which is kind of strange because I'm known for those when I play online, but the high kick is safer, and you're going to see that more often. So there we go. We take out Cage, and we are moving on to one of the final battles here before we hit Shang Tsung. Speaking of which, I can tell you that Kung Lao is going to be up next. Now, ordinarily, against human opponents, Kung Lao is an absolute nightmare in the right hands. Here, it's not that big of a deal. He does have a nasty standing high kick counter for jump-ins, but beyond that, the whirlwind spin could be a problem, but I don't really see him use it that often. He does not counter that the way you think a computer AI-controlled opponent would. Now, if it were me personally, I would be using the dive kicks a lot more frequently, but the computer does not know very well. It's a naked standing jump-in attack, not going to be useful. So, Baraka can make very short work of Kung Lao, provided that you make use of the anti-air jump-ins. So set them up with sweeps, jump back, get the standing high kick, roundhouse, or uppercut counters. Not too much of a problem here. Do what you got to do. You're going to see he's not as difficult as many of the other characters, and obviously Liu Kang being the toughest one. So take him out, a couple more sweeps, high kicks, jump kicks should do it, and I can't remember if we get the win on this one or not. I think he does get us, yes. So we'll just have to sit back and watch us abuse and take down Kung Lao one final time. And then we've got Scorpion right before we hit Shang Tsung. Oh, there's Jade. Alright, now speaking of Jade, this is a nice little segue. If you remember how to get to Jade, you need to finish the first round of the next fight before Shang Tsung using nothing but low kicks. You need to be very careful if you are going to use jump kicks. Make sure you're using the high kick, not the low kick, because that will obviously set you up to face Jade, and on very hard, you think this game's hard as it is, you do not want to be fighting Jade or Smoke, or especially Noob Saibot on very hard. So be very careful, don't accidentally fight Jade if you don't want to do it. We do end up taking Kung Lao down, not too difficult knowing what we've already known about him. Now the final fight before Shang Tsung is going to be Scorpion here, and Scorpion plays out very much the same as Sub-Zero and Reptile. The only difference is he doesn't have the slide, he just has the spear and the teleport. You're not going to see those too often, by the way. You will be seeing the spear on the very first jump-in attack and every subsequent ones here, so be very cautious of that. Blocking may be useful to your advantage, but he will jump in at you quite frequently here, so you can obviously take advantage of that. You're going to see a lot more of that in the second round here. A lot of setup attacks for the jump-in, anti-airs, nothing you haven't already seen before. There is going to be one critical moment in this fight I do want to show you here, which is why I've considered not skipping it. At this point, we've gotten very good at the anti-airing. Those high kicks are very good, very useful. Now remember what I told you way back when, don't get trapped in the corners against these ninjas, or really any character, right? You saw that straight up jump kick. That's going to be a very ugly attack and nearly impossible to deal with if you're trapped in a corner, and unfortunately that was the case there, so we end up taking the loss on this one. Now, if you've noticed, we have a 10 win streak on very hard. If you had asked me if I could pull that off way back when I first started playing this game as a kid, I would have called you absolutely insane. But we pulled it off so far. 10 straight wins against very hard computer opponents. Can we go all the way? Right now, it's looking like we have a very good shot to do that. Oh, we whiffed on the uppercut and we're trapped in the corner. Yeah, so our 10 win streak against very hard AI computer opponents does come to an end, although it was a very close, respectable loss. Let's see if we can get the win on the run back here. We're going to go right back to Baraka. We're going to do the exact same thing. Now remember, this is the fight right before the question mark. You do not want to use nothing but low kicks because that will get you in trouble facing Jade. And that's the last thing we want to do against very hard opponents. Get a nice uppercut counter punish, another jump kick, and unfortunately jump into a roundhouse. It's a lot of the same stuff you've already seen. By the way, you saw it right here. You've probably seen it a few times previously. If you get your opponent into danger, against the computer-controlled opponent, I should say, just go ahead and jump in. any blocked attack is going to result in an immediate loss for them and a win for you. So that should be a great thing to see anytime the danger word comes up here. Right now, looking very good. Let's see if Scorpion can make a comeback, and we're trapped in the corner, and that nasty straight-up jump kick. And you might be wondering, why don't we just let him throw us out of the corner? Well, we could, and that's not a terrible strategy, but sometimes when you're so low on health, it might not even be worth it. Alright, here we go. Right now it's 1 round apiece, and we do not want to let Scorpion get 2 straight victories over us, and I'm pretty sure it's not going to happen. Ooh, as long as we don't get stuck in the corner. And ooh, we are evading his anti-air roundhouse pretty well, which is not very common against the ninjas here. Oh, now right there. Wanted to call this out. We did throw a Blade Spark out, but the reason I don't consider it invalid is because it did not hit him. Had it hit him, obviously I would have ended the round, taken the loss, and gone on to use another credit. Since it didn't hit, the integrity of the match is still intact. It did not change the outcome of the match. So, moving on. Shang Tsung is our next opponent here. Shang Tsung, obviously, as you know, can morph into any character, and that can cause major problems, particularly if he morphs into an anti-air monster such as Liu Kang or Kitana. Take your pick. With Scorpion, obviously it's not a big deal. Feel free to abuse the jump-in attacks. Now, Shang Tsung does have a nasty jump kick of his own, and he has a nasty anti-air high kick you have to worry about. But against Baraka, not that big of a deal. By the way, in case you are not aware, since we are in the portal stage, if you hit down and start when Dan Ford and Toasty Man is in the bottom right or left corner, you will be triggering the smoke match. Obviously, just like Jade, don't be stupid to do that. It's going to make life even more terrible for yourself. You don't want to have to go through that on a very hard playthrough and just waste time and energy. So we're moving on. Just keep using the jump kicks. Most times you're going to get through. Not going to be a problem. Let's see. Can we do it here? Nope. Shang's defense was very well. Scouted us out pretty well. We move into the third and final round. Let's see. Can we get past Shang Tsung and into the boss characters? Got a pretty good feeling. Sometimes it could come down to RNG if you're not lucky. We're doing a pretty good job so far, though. A lot of good jump-ins. Ooh, we did miss there. Oh, now right there. There was another Blade Spark, but it did not hit, so the integrity of the match is still intact. We're moving in. Lots of jump kick, jump kick, jump kick city right now. And what I probably would have been better off doing in both of those last 2 occasions is a standing low kick. Yeah, it wouldn't have done as much damage, but it still would have hit him and got him out of sweep range, possibly. Okay, we get by Shang Tsung. We are now into the boss fights. Now, this is where it can get very ugly and nasty if you don't know how to handle this. We are going to be abusing and glitching the AI relentlessly here. Now, some of you may have seen this on previous videos, but we're going to abuse this terribly. So we're going to take him all the way back in the corner and wait for him to stomp on us. Sometimes he does it immediately, sometimes he won't do it at all. Now, right here, as soon as he stomps on you, he'll push you back out in the middle, mash low punch. Just keep on mashing it as long as you can. Don't let up on it. It's going to look very odd. I have no idea why Kentaro doesn't counter or know how to get out of it, but that's just how he was programmed. Just keep mashing low punch, and it is a guaranteed victory. In many respects, the boss characters can be even easier than the regular characters. So that's 1 round down out of the way. We got 3 more victories to go. We have to beat Kentaro 1 more round, and then of course Shao Kahn 2 rounds. Now, let's see if we can get him back in the corner for 1 more stomp. Here we go, a couple jump kicks, and there's the stomp. Let's see if we can do it. And, ooh, unfortunately, he did not push us out the way I was hoping he would. And unfortunately, he is not going to be able to stomp on us again. We don't have enough energy to survive another stomp, so we have to take the unfortunate loss and set up for and try it again. We are sitting pretty with 3 continues, so it's not the end of the world if he were to defeat us here. Alright, let's move on back and see what happens. Get a nice little roundhouse counter. Oh, I was hoping to get an uppercut there as a counter, but the blade swipe came out. We do have to do the honorable thing and take the loss, so we're just going to stand here and let him uppercut us 20,000 times. Fireball. That is unfortunate. It will happen from time to time. You just have to deal with it. You can't really control what direction he's going to push you out after the stomp. If he's pushed off into the middle, you're kind of screwed. You have to hope you have enough health left to sustain another stomp. If you don't, you're probably better off just taking the loss, because if you try to fight him the old-fashioned way and jump in, he's going to block about 90% of your jump kicks. So we're going to go ahead, jump back once again, set up for the stomp. Here he goes, mashing away in our head and our brains. Alright, now, we are a little further away from him than I'd like to be. I'm honestly amazed that the punches are making contact right now. It's like 1 out of every 3 punches are hitting him, yet he's still standing still, not doing anything. So, hey, I'm not going to complain. I'm not the one who programmed the AI, but thank you very much, whoever you are. We're going to go ahead and take this guaranteed win, assuming he doesn't do an uppercut or something out of nowhere. Yeah, not going to happen. There's one free victory. Now, let's see if we can do the same thing a second time. Yeah, don't even bother jumping in. He will oftentimes grab you out of a jump, which is ridiculous, but again, this game was designed to steal your quarters, so I completely understand it. Yeah, don't let him stomp on you unless it's in a corner. It's a waste of time and health. Take the free jump kicks if he gives them to you, but yeah, clearly you can see he's going to block most of your stuff. Don't make the mistake of going for blade swipes or specials if you can help it. You could probably take, yeah, took the uppercut. Again, at this point, oh, and we did it again. The blade spark came out. Unfortunately, we did make contact, so we have to take the loss here. We're going to have to go into round 3 and hope we can do it again. We're still in good shape here. Even if Kintaro were to beat us again and take a continue, we still got, like, what, 2 left? So we're still in very good shape. We just want to be cautious here and be very careful. We don't want to have to worry about burning continues, although this would be the point of the game where you're going to do it. Now, we're going to continue to go back. Let's just hope that he will stomp on us quickly and push into the middle. Punch, 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 punch. Perfect. That's exactly where we want to be. Now, every single punch is doing damage. Guaranteed victory, and we're going to get it done with 74 seconds left on the timer. Beautiful. That's exactly what you want to see every single time. It couldn't have gone any better than that. So we're through Kintaro. We are now through to the final boss, Shao Kahn. Now, there are various strategies to complete this. You've probably seen, here, I'll talk about the first one. You can jump in, duck, uppercut. You've probably seen that one if you watch speedruns of this game. That is a viable strategy. You could do that, or you could do what I'm showing you right here. Get into the right corner and jump out for jump kicks. Now, I know it didn't work there. We just didn't get set up properly. I'm going to show you exactly how this works. If you don't want to do the jump in, duck, uppercut strategy, this one is going to work, I think, even more effectively than that one does. It only works on the right-hand side of the screen, by the way. Don't do it on the left. I don't know why. So jump up. As soon as he gets up from falling down, jump. Wait until you start falling down from your jump and then drop kick. It's going to hit him every single time. It's a guaranteed victory if you follow it that way. So that's one round done. We are one round away from completing Mortal Kombat 2 on very hard with no special moves. I will tell you right about now, when I was playing this game for real, my pulse was through the roof. I really wish I had a pulse meter on me at the time. It was insane. Yeah, same old thing. Wait till you come down from your jump. If he does happen to get you there, sometimes it may have to be beneficial to just take the loss if you can afford it and you have continues, because this only works once again on the right hand side. Fortunately, we had 2 credits left. We're going to go ahead and burn one. We're not in bad shape right now. So we're going to do the exact same thing. Get ourselves over to the right hand side and just wait for the opportunity to jump kick him here. If he gives you the option to take a free kick, if he wants to taunt you, fine, whatever. Take the free damage against him. So yeah, he's going to get up, dash in, jump over him. The moment you start descending from your jump kick him, it's going to hit every single time. Couldn't have gone much better than that other than a flawless. I will certainly take that one. Now, let's see if we can pull this off and finish it. Can we complete one of the most amazing feats in a fighting game that I personally can think of? Gonna go all the way back to the corner. I'll let you watch. Oh, a few uppercuts. Ooh, here we go. And the magic is about to happen. Jump kick, jump kick, jump kick. A few more should do it. There's 1, there's 2, here's 3. Here comes the last one. BAM! There it is! The final hit. I cannot believe I'm saying this. We have just completed Mortal Kombat 2 on very hard difficulty without using a single special move. It was by far not an easy challenge, to say the least, but it was also by far one of the greatest accomplishments I have ever pulled off in a single-player environment. I am so happy and so proud to be posting this right now. There it is. As the ending sequence plays out, I'd like to give a quick shout out to the entire high-level MK2 community. You guys know who you are. Thank you very much for creating a great environment to play with all these years. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video and maybe it inspires you to go out and try to complete this challenge. It's definitely worth the effort if you have the chops to do it. As for what's coming up next in the NSPC challenge environment, I can tell you that Link's Awakening is definitely coming. It's probably next, and we've got a couple other games on the horizon on the Game Boy that I'm thinking about right now. But this one is finally over, done in the books, one of the more difficult challenges on the collection list. Thanks again to everybody out there. Take care. We will see you in the next challenge.